Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay. About a week or two ago, Judge Aileen Cannon issued an order to Donald Trump's lawyers and to Jack Smith's prosecuting team to come up with a set of jury instructions based on the Mar-a-Lago documents case. Normally, jury instructions are something that you would have issued when you're sitting a jury. And the normal jury instructions are, you can only consider the evidence from experts and things along those lines. And then any special instructions happen after the trial has been completed. And Judge Cannon wants these jury instructions agreed to before they've even selected a jury. Midas Touch had a take on this one, which was very good. And I'm sorry, my apologies. I have not gone looking for it to link it, or at least to read it before this video. But they had a great analogy to it, which I can't remember. But basically, the gist from them is that she's misinterpreting the laws and confusing two different laws. And by asking for these jury instructions up front, she's asking for Jack Smith to explain to the jury, the analogy would be like, how squares don't have 90-degree angles. And if you don't like that instruction, then you have to say how circles do have 90-degree angles. It's something like that. It's things that are impossible to defend or to give as instructions because they're inherently false. So you can't. They're not legal. They're not feasible orders that you can give. There's supposition that he's going to go ahead and submit whatever stuff that she's asking for, and when she makes her ruling, that gives him the thing that he can take to the appellate court. So I want to find out the general energy around these jury instructions, if he'll take it to the appellate court, and what that appellate court decision might look like. Okay? That's kind of the background. Sorry, I'm not explaining it particularly well. It's rather confusing, and I'm not a lawyer. But for entertainment purposes only, I'm here for you. Let's see what we got. Energy around these jury instructions. Looks like somebody about walked off the cliff. She has done a great job of delaying this case and making non-written orders. You can only appeal a written order, and she's made a bunch of stuff that are not written orders. Cash Peters had a great take on it. In his pictures that he did a few months ago, he saw Judge Aileen Cannon kind of getting the best of Jack Smith. And he had a recent video where he did another reading on Judge Cannon, but that's, I think, with these jury instructions, but was pointing out how she actually has been running circles around him because she's been always managing to delay these cases and doing it in such a way that he can't appeal it to get her kicked off the case. So in that regard, she has been getting the better of him. Also, from multiple videos I've watched on this subject matter, you get one shot at getting her off the case. And just because she rules against you doesn't mean you can get her off the case for bias. That's been apparently been tried a number of times where the prosecutor or the defense lost every decision made by the judge, and then they tried to get the judge removed for being biased, and that wasn't enough of a burden of proof. But if she doesn't understand the law, that could get her recused. That is something that can get her booted off. And this is, and likely with Judge Cannon, she's getting a lot of guidance from folks on the Federalist Society. A bunch of judges that could sort of act like a think tank on how can we delay this within the confines of the law. So I'm sure she's been getting a lot of tutoring on this, and she might have borked it up with this particular ruling. So the energy of of this order about jury instructions is trying a different approach, but in this case, she just might be walking right off the cliff because she's gone too far. Underneath, the energy underneath is the Two of Wands. It's like it's the opening. Here's the opening. Here's the daylight we needed, the opportunity that we had. And I suspect Jack Smith has been ready to go for a while. He's probably been, documenting everything that she's done up to this point, waiting for the opportunity to come in. I think the opportunity has arrived. What's the challenge? She made a foolish decision. She's going to by doing this, she's forced herself into making a ruling. Now, I don't know how long she can delay before she makes that ruling, but she's going to have to make that ruling. And the minute she makes that ruling, the door's open. And I believe Jack Smith is going to walk through that door. In the past, you got the Knight of Cups, the false friend. I don't believe she's been representing justice in a fair manner. That doesn't mean she's made all the rulings in favor of Trump, because she hasn't. But the rulings that she has made tend to be favorable to delaying the case. To the point where one of her recent decisions, and it might be with these jury instructions, opens the door for double jeopardy, such that even if this thing went to trial, Trump couldn't be convicted because of double jeopardy. Again, I don't understand what the conflict is that he would have been tried twice for this, but that opening was there, and that likely will be part of Jack Smith's appeal. Current situation is the Knight of Wands. He's planning. He's ready to go. Make your ruling. Let's see how this works out. And again, this is a ruling where, and I do not have a good analogy, but it's to explain why squares don't have 90-degree angles or why circles do have 90-degree angles. No matter which one you argue, they're both fundamentally wrong. And you can't tell the jury that they must consider that all squares don't have 90-degree angles or that all circles must have 90-degree angles. It doesn't make sense. And this, again, I think this is what's going to come back and bite her in the butt. Overarching energy. You got the Fool, the High Priestess, and now the Death card over the top of that. Yeah, she messed up. This is the end. She has given him the opportunity. Look at all these horses here, all this movement. She hasn't even filled out her calendar yet. She can't. This May trial date. There was no way she was going to be hitting this May trial date, and she will delay it again, trying to block out other cases. But I think she's gone. Yeah, she's messed up. She done messed up here. The lesson to be learned is the Lover's card. The relationships. I'm not saying that they're going to show a link between Trump's attorneys and her, or even like her and the Federalist Society or something along those lines. But this is the opposite of the Devil card. I think what's going to happen is you're going to get her removed and somebody's going to come in to replace her. Somebody who's going to be more fair and just. Outcome is the Empress. Am I going too far with that? Let me back up on that one. Lesson to be learned. It's Adam and Eve, and you got the poison fruit and the serpent. And when you take a bite of the apple, you see, I guess, you go into the dichotomous life. You get truth, but with truth comes lies or fiction. To me, this is making that choice. You got to make a choice, and you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Outcome is the Empress. It's like she does this to herself. What's going to be the Empress here? She might sit on that ruling because she's sitting down. She might sit on this ruling for a bit because I think she knows that she can't. She might have realized that she's painted herself into a corner. Low energy is lazy and entitlement. Higher energy is taking care of everybody's needs. I don't know if that's the appellate court or not. Again, major arcana though. It's going to bring an end. Relationship. Honestly, I think she's taking care of Trump as... This might be that... it might be she just ran out of real estate. You know, she's delayed and served Trump and his this case long enough that it's okay for her to. She's done what she set out to do. She might have messed up with this decision, and they can't bail her out of this other than having her delay her decision a bit more. But I think she's made her bed now. Now she has to sleep in it. Her last best hope is to delay these jury instructions as long as she can. I don't know when she has to make a ruling on them. All right. Or maybe she doesn't realize that she's done this. That could also be too. She might be just a bit clueless what she's unleashed. And but again, I mean, if the Midas Touch has seen this and can speculate on it, then I'm sure she's aware of it as well. Maybe she's getting guidance that they can't do anything. And so she's sitting pretty and sitting confident there. Okay. Will Jack Smith appeal whatever the decision ends up being? Circular squares or square-like circles. What's Jack Smith's, what is he going to do? Is he going to take this to the appeals court? 6 of coins. It's like looking for relief. If you're going to take this to, if this was an appeals court and you've got the scales of justice in here, you've got lots of evidence you need to bring. And you're asking just for a little assistance. You're not asking for her to be disbarred or publicly executed or anything. You're just asking for a different judge to be on the case. And you're gonna have to show how she's made these big mistakes, and it's only a little cost to replace her as the judge, or to bring this to an appeals court. Crossed with the 7 of Swords. How long can you let her get away with stuff like this? You know, the art is, do you have enough to get the scales of justice in your way? Because every decision gets you a further delay. Every time you wait, you get more coins, but you could get, if you wait too long, you may not even have a case to challenge. Underneath it is the 4 of coins. It's holding information and things close to your chest. Try not to expose yourself or expose the valuable information that you've got. To me, this is still you got one shot at this. If you're going to take your shot, you got to take your best shot. If you miss, you get no more opportunities. That's the only shot that you get. So you got to make it count. In the past, you got the 10 of Cups. Jack Smith and his team have done a great job of getting this case put together. They had a great strategy. They were only going to go after Trump to help speed up this case. There's a bunch of unindicted co-conspirators that they will go after next. But they had their eye on the prize. And they were going after one person and one person alone. to keep things simple. Actually, I'm sorry, that's January 6th. We're talking Mar-a-Lago documents case. Yeah, okay, so top secret information that should never have been gotten out. Yeah. You know, spy in the camp, the person that's taking things that don't belong to him. And yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Getting all my cases confused here. Got to focus, David. We haven't had a president taking documents before. And again, they kept. This should be an open and shut case. This is a documents case. This is nothing more than he wasn't supposed to have these documents. Black and white letters of the law. This case should be really simple. It's got top secret information that complicates things, but it should be a really simple case. Current situation is the Seven of Coins. Again, the evaluation, looking at this case, what can they get done? They want to appeal it. Do they have enough? Always evaluating, what's in the best interest of the case. Can we get this case done with Judge Cannon, or do we have to go outside of Judge Cannon to do that? There's still a lot of contemplation if he'll go forward with this. Again, you get one shot. Overarching energy is the Ten of Wands. It's a real burden because I guess maybe in this case it's really kind of an unknown. I do think, with a pair of tens here, we have endings here, relationships and actions. It could be that she's made this case untenable, and that could be the final berry on the bush, as it were, that's going to get her removed. Yeah, and there's your Knight of Wands again. Lesson to be learned out of Wands. Been patiently waiting for... Basically, he's been waiting for this bush to bloom and then bear fruit. It's been a hard slog, but I think it's going to pay off. Yeah, and then you take actions. Summertime. When she makes her ruling, that's when your opening comes up. And I do think that when she makes her ruling, that's when the appeal is going to happen. If it's going to happen, I should say, that's when it'll happen. And here's the thing. She's now got a decision that she needs to make that by her own design of the jury instructions cannot give a legal answer. Both answers would fundamentally be wrong. 2 plus 2 is 3 or 2 plus 2 is 5. You're going to have to tell the jury that they have to be able to use that math, that either 2 plus 2 is 3 or 2 plus 2 is 5. Not that 2 plus 2 is 4. And there's the problem. That's a way simpler analogy, David. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. 0 plus 4 is 4. 5 plus negative 1 is 4. All those are valid jury instructions. But 2 plus 2 is 5. Not in any math class, not any arithmetic-based math class I've taken. All right. How's the appeals court going to look at this data from Judge Cannon? Assuming this gets appealed, how will the appeals court handle this? I saw that card before. Wasn't that card up here? Death card. Yeah, they're going to bring things to an end here. Agreements. New person comes in. Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, bringing an end to the Empress. New agreements coming in. They'll if he appeals it, they're going to hear it. They're going to act on it. Victory. Jack Smith finally gets the thing that he can bring to the appeal. The appeals court's going to look at this, and they're just not going to... They're not going to effing believe it. He's appealed her once before, and the appeals court overturned her and gave her a tongue lashing. And apparently the tongue lashing she learned from that was, don't file appealable orders, therefore you cannot be appealed. The appeals court's not going to be happy that that's the lesson she took from the original order that they gave on previous appeals. This is going to cause movement forward, bringing an end to her overseeing this case and bringing somebody new in here. Yeah, we're going to have a new judge to oversee this case. Yep, moving forward, new values, new judge here. We're going to offer you somebody new, something different, something of value. The Empress is gone. Okay, so it looks like Judge Cannon has run the gamut. She's run her full gambit. Her gambit is over. She is going to be done. Now it literally is now just timing. When are the orders submitted? When does she rule on them? And then here comes the process. And once Jack Smith files that appeal, if he files that appeal on this one, it looks like he's going to be successful in getting her removed. Again, we're probably looking months away. We're probably looking by the time this happens, she makes her ruling, the appeal gets submitted, the appeals court hears it. Whether it has to go to the full court or not, I don't know, but and it might very well. It's going to be summertime likely by the time a decision's made, but we will get there. This case does not need to take as long as it's taking. It is a documents case, and Trump's team has had the information. The only reason why things get delayed is because Judge Cannon is purposely moving slow. She's purposely slow walking everything, and there's no reason for it from a legal perspective. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks just discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you found us. I hope you find this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.